Hello and welcome to Suggestions Box. My name is KarQ Gamers, and this is a series where we take your suggestions for the game of Overwatch and we give them a little X as if we don't like them, a little question mark if it needs a little bit more cooking in the oven, and a check mark, which means I like the idea. Let's see what we have this week. Replace Fortify with Halt. A minor adjustment to HP and ability cooldowns to compensate, making Orisa more of a displacement tank while still keeping her identity as a wall and maintain a threat. I think if you lose Fortify, you are a walking ginormous hitbox and you will probably melt. Fortify has always been synonymous with Orisa, and her design is built on staying in LOS and popping Fortify to nullify that frontal damage. There was a point where Fortify allowed you to still headshot, and even then she melted immediately. Without Fortify, I think she's in trouble. Halt would actually just make it even more annoying to play around, especially in Overwatch 2, where you have a single tank and one form of CC. The Halt, along with keeping your javelin spin and your spear and being able to CC and pull people, yeah, no thank you. This is a definite no for me for all of these things. Next suggestion is whenever the game recognizes the lobby's closure, it should give the player something to compensate, whether it's a tier skip, credits, or coins, or even just send an error code or crash report, log dump, auto diagnosis to us. It's extremely frustrating to have your game closed due to some vague, unexpected error, and we can't even figure out what caused it, so we can hopefully avoid it. The compensation thing, I think, could be a little bit abusable if there's something that you could reproduce and always farm something like that, but having like an unexpected error and an error code and having like a directory would be kind of nice to kind of figure out what happens. Kind of like when you like blue screen on Windows and you get an error code, you can Google what specifically happened. It's like, oh, this thing probably died, or this driver probably caused a failure. So something like that could be pretty nice. Not the first part though. I don't think you need a compensation. Just more diagnosis on, you know, what happened and ways to alleviate it will be good. The only one you do see is like GPU render encoder failed or something. That's when I see it on PC when my game crashes. Apparently my GPU did something. That's happened to me before. Next suggestion is make it so that Overwatch League team skins will change the color of the character abilities the same way they do on the OWL streams, but make it a client side only or an opt-in. If it only affects people who opt in, then it shouldn't be confusing to players when the Winston and the Hangzhou Sparky are shooting pink lightning. The OWL tokens are quite expensive and all you really get is a slightly different default skin. I feel like having these recolored will incentivize people to buy the skins for the pretty colors. Then we lose clarity. I know there's an opt-in option, but like, I think it's fine for a spectator or replay. Like if you have the skin and you rewatch your own replay, like maybe it can be tuned in that format, but I don't know about having it in a game. Like maybe an opt-in for your local colors only. Like if you opt in and that other person happens to be wearing Hangzhou Spark, I don't want to see their pink sparkles. I want to see my pink sparkles, but I don't want to see theirs because now ours are both pink. What then? If I'm wearing the pink skin, he's wearing the pink skin, does his not change? Maybe localize only for you, client side only? Sure, but not if like 5 people opt in and they all see the same colors, then that can get a little confusing. So sort of, I'm kind of in the middle there. Maybe that is what you meant the whole time, but I might be stupid here. A suggestion, this isn't really a suggestion, this is a fucking question. Why is the max HP and HP type of each character not listed in the hero information screen? Good question. Also, good suggestion, please add that, Blizzard. Every week on this series, we talk about this hero select screen and having more information. Suggestion, Mei should get a small speed boost when freezing the floor in front of her. She's currently the only DPS who doesn't have an ability to help her get back to the point faster. Is she the only one? Bastion can rocket jumps. Wait, I'm verifying your claim. Let me look at the DPS list and think about this. Wait, Ashe can coach, Bastion, rocket jump, Cass can roll, Echo can fly, Genji dash, Hanzo, leap, Junkrat, double mine, Pharah, obviously Reaper can TP, Sojourn can slide, Soldier can sprint, Sombra can translocate, Symmetra can TP, Torb has overload which gives him movement speed, Tracer has blink, Venture has the burrow thing, and Widow can grapple. Oh my god. Wait, that's such an interesting fact. To be honest with you, Mei the only one who doesn't have any sort of ability or a movement speed buff to kind of like move faster. I've always thought that idea of being like Frozone from The Incredibles and freezing the floor and moving faster if you or your teammates are on it is a cool concept. They do it in Heroes of the Storm for Tank Mei. If they did add utility like that, they would really need to take power away elsewhere, or else she becomes unstoppable because her hero identity is walling off and catching people off with a slow. If she is faster by default by simply spraying the ground, it gives her a gap close for an incredibly strong close range brawl hero. That's a little dangerous right now. We're treading in dangerous territory. I think it's cool on paper, but in practicality, this would frustrate so many players if the Mei can just chase you, close the gap, tick you with a single tick of freeze, and you're cooked immediately, especially if she can buff the rest of the team too. Unless she gets moved to tank, and then she can have all this utility because there's only one of them. While it's cool, I don't think it would be very balanced right now. They'd really need to turn a lot of other knobs down. So for now, oh, not this. I'm gonna say no for now, but if you hear me out, there is something in the chamber here. Not really so much of a suggestion. Again, guys, suggestions are statements. This is an opinion. Well, I guess suggestions are opinions too. I wish they had map statistics. The character stats are great to see who I win with the most, but it doesn't capture what scenario they're played on. If I knew which map I struggled the most on, I could focus my studies and even character on map statistics. Yes, I think they have these stats internally for each player too. They're just not public. I've always been a proponent of this. Why not? There was a season, I think season 9, where I had all my games tracked, map win rate. I think it was like Havana for me and Oasis were like my lowest win rate maps. And then I noticed that, and then by the end of the season, I like bumped it up to like 45% win rate because maybe I was hyper aware of it. Who knows? Subconsciously, I was playing it a lot differently once I saw my stats, and I did bump it up. Some of the maps I popped off on were like Circuit Royale and things like that. It was a pretty cool thing to see. I think they should add it. Suggestion: give Ravenous Vortex the hinder effect for people who stand on it because it doesn't already pull people out of the air reliably. Just make it so if you throw it at the target, you can rush them down and deny their movement abilities entirely. Probably remove the movement slowing so it's not busted. A throwable hinder is kind of crazy. Think about Junker Queen ult. It's an instant cancel. Nah, not hinder effect. No to that. But how about counter suggestion? If you throw Ravenous Vortex, you can press it again to detonate it and activate it. And it has like a cylindrical radius. Right now it lands on the ground and then it does it. But like if I throw it in the air, maybe have it a limited range, and I pop it, there's like a cylinder effect where it pulls people down. So if I do aim it into the sky and I pop it, it obviously doesn't go from sky to the bottom of the floor, but maybe like a 5-7 meter fixed cylinder in the air. And if it just so happens to tag a flyer, then they get pulled all the way down if they touch the area of effect. And it gives you more counterplay to kind of like throw it halfway and pop it. Because right now you have to throw it off a wall or like throw it on the ground for it to activate. So a detonation button. There should be a game mode where it's competitive, but there is no rank at stake. It would be unranked, ranked game mode, where both teams get a chance to attack. There is an overtime. There's everything else that is exclusive to rank, but you don't lose or gain MMR at the end. I think a lot of newer players especially would like it, and it would make transitioning to rank gameplay a lot easier. Also, it would be a good place to practice your skills on heroes you're not familiar with. I feel like I'm not alone here, but when I go to quick play and try and practice with a hero, it doesn't really end up working since the game is so unserious the majority of the time. I think a true unranked mode would be kind of nice. I just think we already have pretty long queues in general, and if we segregate and split up more people into different queues, it might space it out a little too much. It's always the ratio that's the most important, but I'm thinking logistically. I mean, I'm sure they could just try it. Like, I'm always down for a mode like this. Although I will say, when the Overwatch 2, I think it was beta came out, quick play became unranked only during the Overwatch 2 beta around May 2022. And I think after like 10 games, I hated it. I was like, I want just regular quick play, something a bit faster. Not one or all, where right now we only have quick play, we don't have unranked. And that time we only had unranked and no true quick play. I think having both queues is actually pretty good. You know what? I'm going to say yes. Suggestion: add a real-time scoreboard in the replay so we can check the general view of the matches easier and more conveniently. Yeah. Suggestion: the dev should add more fun achievements in the game. We already have 2 per character already, but there could be so much more. For example, Team Fortress 2 has a couple of hundred. Some examples are things like bumping into an enemy cloaked while you yourself are cloaked, or defeating an enemy Genji using Blade with your ult as Hanzo, or landing a killing blow against X number of airborne enemies as Reinhardt. Getting a killing blow against X amount of enemies sounds like a challenge. It sounds like a lifetime hero challenge that they should probably add, because right now the lifetime challenges are like win 500 games of ranked, win 500 games of mystery heroes to get this title. I do think hero specific long-term challenges are pretty good. Yeah, like killing blow against airborne people, like people who are jumping in current game states. I do think more achievements like that are really good for achievement hunters. There are challenge hunters who are looking for those titles, but like something more niche and more specific for each hero would really help the longevity and replayability for the game. I do think they've argued that if they add too many of these, it makes people play for the achievement rather than play to win in a PvP game, which is why they have to be careful. They can't be like specific things where like people will farm specifically for it. It kind of has to match the flow of the gameplay where they're just killing people. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I got nothing else to say. Just be careful with the implementation, Blizzard, but why not? Add some more achievements, it'd be good. Suggestion, make the kill cam start later. Because of wave respawn, when I want to watch how I die, I don't usually get to see the kill, only the setup before. It used to be good before, where about 1 second after you died in the kill cam, you would respawn, but it is now very hard to see when and how you died. Oh, that's actually kind of interesting, how the wave respawn might actually intersect. Well, does it though? Because, well, yeah, you do get a quicker one. I actually usually skip my kill cams. I don't like to see how I died, to be honest with you. I usually can tell, and the moment I see my death, I skip right away. So I don't watch it all the way to the end, but there are probably those instances where the kill cam kind of misses out important information. I glance at my kill cam just to see their ult charge, and like, that's it. Make kill cam start later, as in like show the kill faster is what you want. The algorithm needs to change there. There's a lot of upvotes here, so like, I'm sure this is something that's shared between the community that I was unaware of until you brought it up. So good suggestion. New suggestion in the battle pass, the final tier 200 should just give you a skin from any previous battle pass. If you own all the skins from the battle pass you choose, you receive 300 coins instead. This would incentivize people to grind the battle pass all the way to the end. 200 for that? Yay. You know, I'm down for that. If you're gonna play the game that much, I think they should reward you. Less greed, more player retention. Suggestion, pause the match for a 2-minute leniency window when a player disconnects in competitive. Obviously, this should have limited activations per team, maybe even just one, but I think this would reduce the impact unintentional DCs would have on a ranked game. To prevent this feature from being abused by bad actors to hold their team hostage in a match, I think it'd be a good idea for the team with a DC to be able to resume the match just to potentially end the match early if the game is in such a state. Yeah, 2 minutes is just 2 minutes. It's not like a terrible, it's not like so long that you have to like sit there and go get water, and you know, an unintentional DC, someone like restarted the mode. Well, restarting the internet might take a little longer. The game crashed and you're just quickly trying to relaunch. I think a 2-minute pause window to reconnect is good. It'd be really bad if it was like in the middle of an inopportune moment, like mid Dragon Blade, somebody in the death, like somebody on the team. Actually, yeah, now that you think about it, because of this, there might be a point where it does get abused for some bad actors, where I'll say I'm in a duo queue, I'm about to get bladed, I'm about to die, right? But then my duo, my toxic duo is like, oh, you're about to get shit on? Let me just pull my internet plug, and then bam, instant pause, which kind of ruins the flow of the enemy Genji. And then when it reconnects, maybe I can like quickly nade myself and sleep him because I have my thing crossed. Like, I do think there may be a world where people abuse this, and the people who abuse it ruin it for everybody else, which is really annoying, but I do like the leniency window, so I'm going to opt for yes. But please, if this gets implemented in the game, don't fucking abuse it. Thank you very much. Okay, last suggestion, a Winston ultimate rework. Who the hell wants a Winston alt rework? I think the current Primal Rage is such a great expression of skill because there's so much technicality to it, learning how to manage your leaps and distances, because you can do a line drive leap, short leap, long leap, vertical leap, and you have to juggle them. I think that's the best form of skill expression. So what is this? Hit ability 1 in close proximity to a DPS or support to pick them up. Hit ability 1 to throw them again. Deal 50 damage when they hit the floor. Deal an additional 50 damage when they hit a wall, and deal 50 additional damage and knockdown when hitting an enemy player. This just sounds like Doomfist on steroids. Picking them up and throwing them. Picking them up is like forced CC, and when they hit a wall, it's a forced knockdown. That seems kind of strong, but doesn't suit Primal Rage for Winston. I think already Ultimate's great skill expression. Good skill ceiling, like I said. This could be something for a new tank where they pick him up and throw him around and stuff, but not for Winston. He's in a good state, so. All right, and that's it for this week's suggestions. Leave some more in the comments. Thanks for listening. KarQ out.